This is 8-Minute Climate Fix, a podcast helping you understand the energy and climate challenge in just a few minutes. I'm your host, Paul Schuster. The wonky world of climate accounting is about to get a bit wonkier. The Greenhouse Gas Corporate Protocol is going through a series of revisions, updating and modernizing the way corporations account for the effect that their power purchases have on climate change. The current set of accounting rules have been around since 2015, and a lot has changed since they were first established. Providing a bit more rigor to these rules is a good thing. But what exactly should be changed is causing a lot of controversy. Big tech giants, academics, clean energy coalitions, renewable energy developers, regulators, everyone has a differing opinion and perspective. But getting this right is paramount. Getting it wrong could crush the voluntary corporate renewable market that has been responsible for over 200 gigawatts of renewable energy deployment since the first protocol rules went into effect. So let's dig into the proposed changes and the arguments for and against. 8 minutes. It's how long it takes the sun's rays to hit Earth, or about how long I could last outside last week during this latest heat dome. Let's get it on. The GHG corporate protocol has long been the established set of accounting rules with which corporations measure their greenhouse gas emissions. But we've come a long way since those rules were first put into place, both in the commitments that companies are making to reduce their planetary impact, but also in the sophistication in how that impact is being measured in the first place. It was time to revisit the rules. And over the past few years, that's what the GHG protocol has been doing, looking at providing some better rigor around ensuring that the physical impact of renewable energy procurement can be accounted for properly. But these proposed changes are controversial. Let's unpack what they mean for companies and climate action moving forward. First up is the big one, hourly matching. Renewable energy projects issue a certificate for every megawatt hour of power that they generate, and companies can then purchase that certificate to represent that they are procuring renewable power for their operations. Sometimes the certificate is bundled as part of a bigger power purchase deal, or sometimes it's on its own. But in all cases, it's directly supporting the build-out and growth of renewable power. Under current rules, a company purchasing certificates only needs to ensure that the power was generated in the same year as to when the demand was created. That leads to some weird characteristics, as a solar project may overproduce in the summer, but a company can claim that renewable energy value in the fall or winter. The new hourly matching rule would require companies to match their certificate with the hour that the power was needed, moving from an annual true-up to an hourly true-up. That obviously better aligns with real decarbonization and may even incentivize investment into storage technologies such as batteries so that projects can better align power delivery with demand. But it also runs the risk of disenfranchising a whole set of companies that want to purchase renewable power, but would never be able to afford the premiums associated with hourly matching. Or for that matter, it could have an adverse effect on project development as well, as companies would be disincentivized to purchase all power from a renewable project, as some of that would occur at time periods that don't match properly. And some renewable projects that are financeable now may not be if they can't find an off-taker for that extra power. The proposed changes don't just stop at temporal matching either. They also introduce deliverability requirements, which mean that the renewables a company is buying need to be sourced from the same grid as to where their operations are. Today, we can fudge a bit and claim credit for renewables that are brought online in Texas in offsetting operations in Maine. Tomorrow, that may not be the case. And while that may sound logical, it does create problems. Namely, there aren't a lot of great renewable projects into which to invest in Maine. Or, for that matter, maybe you wouldn't even want to. I mean, if the goal is to reduce planet-wide emissions, would it make more sense to invest in projects in locations where the grid emissions are really bad versus an area such as Maine that has a lot of hydro or other renewables already cleaning up the system? Some organizations, such as environmental NGOs, academic universities, or giant tech companies such as Microsoft and Google, have applauded the changes. They do represent a better accounting of true impact on emissions of any one individual company. But from a macro perspective, large clean energy buyers and coalitions such as the Clean Energy Buyers Association, CEBA, have raised concerns that hourly matching and deliverability could upend voluntary clean energy markets, disqualify existing contracts, and make it harder, not easier, for companies to invest into green technology. And companies that operate in fossil heavy grids worry that there won't be enough renewable energy options to comply. And we may even see a number of companies walk back their commitments towards net zero because of these wonky accounting changes. This isn't good. I've argued before that the drive to be precise and accurate with our accounting is hurting the overall objectives of renewable energy standards in the first place. We should be incentivizing more investment into renewables wherever we can, and trying to map individual company contributions in this way is only hurting our overall goals towards having the greatest impact with each incremental dollar being invested. However, it may even be worse than that, as the increased administrative burden, loss of renewable energy options, increased costs, and volatility of certificate premiums, these could have a really detrimental effect on the commitment of companies to stay the course and fight for change. We're going to find out whether all this new headache is going to lead to an exodus of otherwise well-meaning companies from renewable energy procurement, and that could be really devastating at this critical moment. The greenhouse gas accounting rules do need to be revisited, to be revised to accommodate today's realities, but the proposed changes to mandate hourly matching and deliverability may be too far, too fast for right now. We're now in a public comment period where I hope corporations will take a hard look at the proposed changes and lend their voice to this debate. Ensuring we get this right is absolutely critical. I'm Paul Schuster, and this has been your 8 Minutes.